Hello, Revolution. Happy Mother's Day. We are so excited that you're celebrating with us. But we do know that Mother's Day can come with a lot of feelings. And so I am here with my friend Kylie, who has had a long sort of path to get to motherhood. And so, Kylie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and just share a little bit of your and Cody's story on your journey toward parenthood for us?
Hi guys. My husband is Cody Scott. You'll see him doing like the security and stuff. I'm obviously Kylie. We have tried, we have tried, for 7 years to get pregnant. It's been 9 years now. But 7 years. And then we finally met a couple who was fostering at the time, and they had informed us of all that. We decided to go that route. We started the process. It's a very lengthy process. We ended up getting pregnant during that process. We lost the baby during that. And so then eventually we resumed the process to foster. And we decided 3 days into getting our license, after that long road, we actually got a call for our first baby. It was that fast. And throughout the whole process of getting our license, everybody was telling us, trying to discourage us and tell us, you won't get a baby. Babies, it's all older kids and everything. But we just kept pushing on, and we're like, well, we really would like to try to do a baby, because we were trying to foster to adopt, and that was just how we wanted to do it. And so within the first 3 months of having our license, we actually had calls for 3 babies after everybody had told us that it just would not happen. That's how many babies, and there's the short amount of time that we had. And of course, fast forward till now, 2 of those babies have left us, and the third one, we are in the process right now of getting ready to adopt.
So wonderful.
9 years total.
So a very long road with, I would assume, lots of emotions, lots of hills and valleys through that season. So for you, when we talk about Mother's Day, that day probably didn't always come with a lot of excitement and celebration. Can you share a little bit about, kind of in the past, those 7 years of trying and waiting, and even these past couple of years as a foster mom? What has Mother's Day brought up in you, or how has it made you feel?
Up until now, every year was just really hard. It was really depressing. I tried to not focus on it. That was like the only way I could think to cope, was I would just try to focus on like celebrating it with my mom and make it about her. But secretly, I was just really good at covering up about how broken I felt. It was a reminder that I'm broken. My body's not doing what, God intended for a woman to be able to do. And it was just a reminder every year. And so it was just really upsetting.
Yeah.
Mother's Day was not something that I enjoyed to celebrate. And sometimes I would skip church just because it was just that painful.
Yeah. I imagine that you are not alone on those days. We're never alone, even though maybe we're not always great about, like you said, a lot of people hide that and they don't want to talk about that. But we know that there are so many women who are having those same feelings and experiencing that day in the same way. So over the years, how would you say that God has used this journey, really your story, to draw you closer to Him and to build your faith?
I would say right now, Henry, he is a constant reminder. Looking back, I would have been so negative, and I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and just the depression was really real. And now that we have him and we're getting ready to adopt him, every time I see his face, he is just a constant reminder to me that God follows through. He was listening. He was crying with me. He always heard every prayer. I can see that now, looking back. during that journey, that part of the journey, I could not feel God. I know he's there now. He was there the whole time. He did answer my prayers. He did. And he continues to do so. And it's all in his timing. That was a hard pill to swallow, was to learn, that I believe he does answer prayers, but it's just not always in our timing.
Right. So let me ask you, you said during that time it was really hard to see, and it was dark, and depression was real, and kind of a constant state for you. So were there things that you were able to do in that time that, even though maybe God felt silent or distant, that you did in order to draw close to him and in order to keep fighting, that you wouldn't, because like we said, there's maybe women that are sitting at home today and they're feeling so much of this. What were things that you were able to do in those years to draw close to God and to trust him and to cling to him and to his promises?
I finally broke down. It was actually the year prior to us getting our license. I made a commitment to read the Bible from the first page to the last. And I did a journal where I would write I would draw pictures in this notebook and write every verse that I, loved in it. And I made that commitment that I woke up every morning, and before I would do anything else, I would sit down and do that. And I promised him, I was like, I will do this, but please answer my prayer. Like, I was like so desperate to become a mom, that I was begging him. Yeah. And, I'm just so grateful for that. Like, I really see him. Like I said, looking back, I really can tell that he was sitting across the table from me the whole time, really right there. Like, I can see that now. My plans, we all think that our plans are perfect. And I believe that God's plans were way more better than what I could have imagined. He did way more than I could have imagined.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And what a challenge to anyone who's going through a hard time or a struggle or waiting on a promise, whether it's that promise of a child or, whatever it is, just a way to draw close to him is through his word and through prayer and conversation with him. So you're still waiting, right? We're still waiting.
Yes.
You have your sweet Henry, and just tell us a little bit about kind of where you guys are at with that and with him right now.
We were supposed to, we had an adoption date for March 26th, and then COVID came along and stole that from us. Then it got pushed back to May 14th, and then they just called this week and switched it again. So now our next school date is June 16th. Okay. So hopefully third time's the charm. Yeah. Hopefully that'll stick and he'll officially be ours, and
that will be an amazing day to celebrate. I am so looking forward to that with you. And I know now so much of our Revolution family is going to be June 16th, circled on the calendar, praying for Henry to officially become Scott, and for you and Cody to celebrate. It's going to be a beautiful moment. So thinking on that, like, honestly, still officially, maybe you're not feeling a Mother's Day mother, or how so many of us maybe do or think about mothers in the traditional sense, but you are a mom. You have been a mom over these past few years of fostering and loving on littles that have been in and out of your home, and so thank you for that, and thank you for serving in that way and sharing this morning. Just a couple more things, just in general, in this season, in this time where we've kind of been able to step back and sort of create our new normal. What are some things maybe that you have just taken on? What, if anything, have you made part of your new normal for you and maybe even for your family? Is there anything specific?
We've definitely gotten more time together. Like, my husband is a police officer, so he's had more time off and stuff. And so we've just been able to spend a little bit more time together. And I am a stay-at-home mom, so I obviously I am here all the time with him, but I'm just trying to take the time and spend more time with him and focus, like put my phone down more. That could be hard.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all addicted to our phones, and just really give him all my attention. And then, like I said, my husband Cody can do the same thing now, and because he's getting more time at home. And I think that this COVID thing has been something to teach us about distractions. Like, it's really taken a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter, at the end of the day. It's taken it away from us, and I think we kind of needed that. Definitely. To put life back into perspective of what really is important. And
awesome. And then just as someone who's been on a very long journey to motherhood, what would you say to someone or encourage someone, whether it is the journey to becoming a mom, the path to motherhood or parenthood, or just whatever that promise is they're holding on? What would be your encouragement to someone sitting there today thinking like, I understand what she's feeling because I'm there and I'm in that darkness right now? What would you say to them? What would you want them to hear this morning?
Oh, just hang on. Seriously, just keep tugging along. I'm telling you, he's listening. He's crying every tear. They say that he catches every tear that you cry, and I really believe that's true. He's right there with you crying. He's moving mountains that you don't even know about yet. And I believe that too. And just keep tugging along. It's in his timing, and you'll come out and you'll realize, for example, Henry, I couldn't imagine a more perfect child. And I see, I look at him and I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you. Like, I'm very grateful. So.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much for Kylie for sharing your story, and we are excited for you and your family, and we are looking forward to that day almost as much as you are, and we will celebrate greatly when we're able to be back together.
Kylie, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. And I want to remind everyone or announce to everyone that this week, our new normal noon videos that are Monday through Friday at noon are different revolutionaries that are going to be sharing their stories and just sharing hope and encouragement for all of us. So make sure you tune in on all of our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and our website, to hear from these different revolutionaries. At noon is when it will be live. And of course, they'll be posted. You can tune in whenever you're available. And I just want to say from my heart to all of the ladies watching this today, happy Mother's Day. The term mom, it means so much more than we initially think it means when we hear that word. Because I know there are so many ladies at Revolution in the community of our church and beyond the community of our church. That title mom encompasses being a small group leader for a bunch of girls, that you are pouring the love of Jesus into those girls. It might mean being a grandmother to grandkids. It might mean being a big sister to this girl that you're mentoring. It might mean being a teacher. There are so many different ways that motherhood looks. And again, I just want to say happy Mother's Day. I'm going to read this verse. It's Proverbs 11:16. It says, a kind-hearted woman gains honor. And I think that's what it means to be a mom, to be kind-hearted and to be caring. And for all of those kind-hearted, caring women watching this stream, again, happy Mother's Day. Have an amazing day.